pleasure. My pleasure. I have such fond memories of us working together in the past.
Yeah, when we're talking about deposits, the occasion we're talking right now is because we just had a decision in the Netherlands, of course, pro deposits on small plastic bottles, which we will have instated from July on next year. And of course, in your single-use plastics directive, it also says it states 90%
Comes back.
a separate collection by 2029. On the other hand, you also see a lot of lobbying going on in trying to see if we can get this done in another way, that 90%. But I feel there's only one way. The means is deposits. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we leave the option open. I have to be honest about that. Also, in collection. But if you look at the effects of the deposit schemes, already now, 90% of the bottles come back. And they come back in a much better shape than through collection. And people are prepared to pay a bit more so that they can get it back later. And also, when we did a so-called impact assessment, we asked people, what system do you prefer? And there's a clear preference for this system. So I would be the advocate to make the system happen everywhere in the European Union. It is logical, it is profitable for the consumer, because he gets the money back. It doesn't cost him anything, he gets the money back. And it sort of focuses the mind, and it creates a circularity on the basis of plastic you can really use because it's been treated well.
But why would you leave that open, that 90%? Why would you leave it open? Why not just say the whole of Europe? Wouldn't that be your ultimate goal, to say 2029 we'll have all member states with deposits, and not only bottles but also cans, for instance?
Well, because to get this legislation through, we had to find a compromise on this for member states who were not convinced, and they didn't want the administrative burden of a deposit scheme, or they thought they could do it in another way. But the thing is, they are under an obligation to have all plastics collected, 90% of it, by 2029. And I really wonder how they were going to implement that obligation without deposit schemes. I think it's hardly possible. So that we will have working for us, and we will be very strict as Commission to hold them to that obligation.
Yeah, we did the same thing here in the Netherlands, of course. The state secretary said 90%, well, she said 70, but it was the same thing. They never got that. And that's why we have deposits on small plastic bottles in the Netherlands right now.
Yes, exactly.
And in that battle here in the Netherlands, it was actually the community, the Plastic Avengers community, the plastic activists that played an important role, also by just measuring what litter they found lying around by taking photographs. You have all these different kind of apps right now which they can use. Is that something you'd call out to the European community of plastic activists as well? Absolutely. How can we help you?
No, let me just share one element of personal experience. You were doing that with your app, and you were signaling. And because of you doing this, we had facts. You know, people were saying to me before, cotton buds, what are you talking about? These small cotton buds, how can they be a problem? But if it turns out they are massively, massively present on our beaches and in our oceans, then people say, oh my God, yes, we have a problem. It is initiatives like yours that convince people with facts, just looking at it, just showing it. And do a beach cleanup like many do now. Look at the amount of trash you collect in no time. And these are the things that are convincing people and helping us drive forward an agenda that is not always popular with politicians, but it's popular with the population. Without you, there would be no plastic strategy. And like I always say, you know, even if Greta Thunberg attacks me sometimes because I don't go far enough, without Greta Thunberg, we would have no Green Deal. Let's be very clear about that.
Well, I guess that's it. I'd like a follow-up. I'm for sure coming to Brussels for the plastic treaty. I'm actually doing an expedition this summer, a tour on a subboard through the Netherlands. I know you live in Heerlen, so maybe if you're there, I'd love to stop over and have another chat. Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah, let's plan that.
Let's do this again. I like this Instagram live dialogue with you, and it gives the opportunity for others to follow and ask questions. So if you want to do it again, I'm your man.
I'd love to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck, Marijn, and keep up the good work.